All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the eighth episode of CC Sports Talk Podcast. I don't know why that was a tongue twister for me for a little bit, but yeah, we're just going to talk about the playoffs coming up this weekend. We're going to talk about some things that happened around the NFL, some storylines I thought were interesting, and the first game we'll talk about is we'll just do it in chronological order. Is the Bills versus Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 1.5, so pretty much a coin flip, really. But yeah, I think that I've been saying this all year. You guys know how I feel about it. But I think it's just Josh Allen's year. I think they're gonna win this game. It's definitely be difficult going to Denver, playing in Denver, in that stadium, and their defense. The Broncos defense isn't as good as we thought it was, but still, top five defense probably. Um, yeah, I mean, the problem with the Bills is that they have so many injuries, but I don't think it matters. They have Shavers that is out, Gabe Davis is out, that is out. Curtis Samuel might not play. He's coming off IR, but usually they play, but you never know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a tough game. It'll be interesting to see how Bo Nix plays. These young teams that have buys, sometimes it doesn't really help them. Sometimes I can slow them down a little bit, which is kind of you know kind of strange because sometimes the teams that are hot and on a heater, sometimes a break messes them up a little bit. But yeah, we'll see how they play. It'll be interesting to see how Bo Nix plays against the Bills team this year. You know how they lost like 31-7 last year in the playoffs to the Bills. Um, I think this is a big moment for Nix to beat Josh Allen if he can do it. I don't think they can, but if he can do it, that would be a huge moment for him. No one really thinks he's that good. He's a good quarterback, but he's not top 10 good. But yeah, I mean, it will be a good test for Josh Allen against that Broncos defense. They played the Eagles early in the year. I think the Broncos have a better defense than the Eagles, and Bills only scored, I think it was 13 points or 12 points. But in that crazy rain game where they went for two at the end and didn't make it. But yeah, I mean, the Bills' defense has definitely been playing better. Their run defense is just not very good at all, but their pass defense is one of the best in the league. Um, it's always crazy to see that when you have like a really good pass defense, then the rush defense is terrible. I don't understand that, but they might have Ed Oliver coming back. That would be a huge addition for them. He's so good, big guy up front for them and their defensive line. Last week Travarius White played like a throwback game. He's so old and washed out, but last week he played a great game. Um, um, they have some. I know Poyer's also not playing. Their longtime free safety, but yeah, I mean, they should be able to run the ball. If they get James Cook going, and that just opens up the passing for them. Their tight ends, they still have their tight ends healthy, which that all that matters to him, and they still have Shakir healthy. That's all that matters to him as well. As long as they have those three guys and James Cook, Josh Allen will be all right. I mean, he doesn't really need James Cook because he's just a great runner himself, but it'll be interesting to see because the Broncos are a hard-hitting defense. They're physical. They might be getting Dre Greenlaw back, which, he's a very physical linebacker, which it just brings up their physicality even more in defense. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just Josh Allen's year. I mean, if he wins this game, I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. They'll beat the Texans or the Patriots in the next round, whoever they play, and it'll be. I mean, they're 6-2. Like, I don't think they worry about going on the road either, like a lot of these other teams. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a great game. I think it'll be a close game, probably in like the 20s. I wouldn't say anything higher than that. Bo Nix has struggled this year, but they played good against Green Bay, and you thought it was his moment, but then he just has not been very good. I mean, he has games here and there where he looks really good. The Chiefs game he looked good, the Green Bay Packers game he looks good, and then he has games where he looks terrible, like against the Raiders and against the Chiefs and all this stuff, and all those other games. But he's just too inconsistent for me. I just don't know how I feel about him. But they have so many weapons on offense with Sutton and Bryant and Ingram and who's the number two receiver? Troy Franklin and the running backs. They might be having Dobbins come back as well. J.K. Dobbins, he's just always injured, and he was having a great year before he was injured. But Yeah, I mean the Bills defense should give the Broncos a little bit of a hard time in the pass game. Them having a top one of the top passing defenses, and Sean McDermott's a great disguiser on defense. They show one thing, but they do the opposite of what they're showing. That gave Drake May problems the second game they played in New England. Um, yeah, I mean this be a good test for Sean McDermott as well. He's going up against good Broncos team. That coaching staff on the other side is definitely better coached than him. Um, and it's a good witness test to see, how good is this guy. Defensively, he's a good coach, but other than that, I don't think he's a very good coach. Um, I do like how in the Jaguars game he didn't go for it as much as he used to. He's used to going for it, which I like. I hate when teams are not taking the points. In the Jaguars game, he was just taking the points, which I really respected. I really like. Um, but I think it's just the Bills' year, man. I mean, Josh Allen's just on a heater right now. He sees Mahomes out, he sees Lamar Jackson out, he sees Burrow out, he sees all these good quarterbacks that he used to lose to, not in the playoffs, and he smells blood in the water, and I think it's his time. Um, but yeah, I mean, I got the Bills winning. I think they'll probably win by a touchdown or something crazy at the end as usual. Maybe they'll be down a lot and come back. I don't know. You never know with the Bills, but they're always at the end of the game. They'll always be there and always win. Um, I'm surprised that the line is flipped. It looks like all the money has been coming. The line started in 1.5 for the Bills, and then it flipped to the Broncos. So a lot of the money must be coming in for the Broncos. But I just seen it with Brady all these years and Mahomes now all these years. It's just the best quarterback. Sometimes they just smell blood in the water, and it's their year. And I think that's it for Josh Allen. It's his year. But yeah, and it's kind of crazy to see his wife. Used to be a Broncos fan, and this is all these pictures going around of her at a Broncos game and stuff like that. But now they're playing the Broncos. But and Allen also has all these injuries, but he's just so tough. He'll play right through it. You won't even be able to notice it, I bet. But yeah, I got the Bills winning. I think it'll be like a you know 27-24, 24-21. I think it'll be like a 3-point game. So I would take the Bills and the points, or Bills money line. But yeah, and then the next game we're talking about is the 49ers versus the Seahawks. 49ers will be going up to Seattle, and Seattle is favored by 7. Interesting thing that came out yesterday is that Sam Darnold all of a sudden is on the injury report, and he's questionable to play with an oblique injury. It's strange. That same thing happened to Mac Hollins and the Patriots too. Like, he was playing, and all of a sudden he was on the injury report and then out for the year. So whenever I see oblique, I always feel like it's always they're always out for a little while. With Amon-Ra St. Brown a couple years ago, and in baseball, they cut their fingernail too short and they're out for 6 weeks. But happens a lot in baseball with like swinging and moving your torso a lot. But Darnold has the oblique injury. I think he'll play. I'm sure he'll play. There's a lot of pressure on him in Seattle, I think, in this game. Because, like I said last week, 49ers have nothing to lose. They have all these injuries. No one thinks they're going to win. I think Brock Purdy has no pressure on him right now. I think Kyle Shanahan has no pressure on him right now, so they can just pull whatever, do whatever they want, and just try to win the game as best they can. Obviously, no matter what, they're going to try to win the game. But, they can pull out some stuff they probably wouldn't pull out because they're just big underdogs in this spot. 7 is a big number in the playoffs. And whenever these teams play each other too, it's usually a low scoring game. I feel like the last couple of years, especially this year, 13-3 game at week 18, and then week 1 was a very low scoring game. I don't remember the score, but it was a very low scoring. Brock Purdy had that crazy touchdown at the end of the game to Tongs. But yeah, they won't have George Kittle. They don't have anybody in their defense really playing, but they just keep winning. I do think Seattle will win this game. I think the 49ers injuries will just come back to haunt them a little bit here in this spot. And Seattle has really had their number this year. The 49ers won the first game, but Seattle's defense is just so good. A lot of these teams that are still in the playoffs have great defenses, except like the 49ers and the Rams and the Bears. So actually, no, maybe 1, 2, 3. Three teams have good. Four teams have good. Out of the 8 teams, 4 teams have good defenses. I believe in the good defenses win championships motto. Seattle's defense, especially their secondary, is just crazy good, crazy fast, crazy physical. Their linebackers are fast. Their defensive line is huge, massive. All four guys can get to the quarterback without blitzing, kind of like Houston. Um, and they have just so many weapons on offense with Jackson Smith and Jigba. The three tight ends are good. It depends if Aurora plays. Maybe they'll have two, but I think Rashid. I can't say his name. I always struggle. Raheed Shaheed is a great weapon. He's a great player. They got those two physical running backs in Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. Um, yeah, I mean, I think this. I think, like I said at the beginning of this preview, all the pressure I think is on Sam Darnold. Um, he's got to perform well. You got to get this monkey off his back of not performing well in big games, and I don't think he has a playoff win either. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a playoff win. He got embarrassed last year in the Vikings Rams game when they played in Arizona because of the fires. But yeah, a lot of pressure's on him. I mean, he's got to perform well and he's got to do good. When he's played the 49ers this year, he's had good games, so they're familiar with them. And the thing about them, they played Week 18, so there's no prep they got to do. They know each other. They know what to do. Now it's just what can we execute? What can we do? They know each other from like the back of their hand. They're very familiar with each other. I think it'll be a great game. It'll be interesting how Purdy does because the second game Purdy played against Seattle. One, I feel like they never had the ball. Seattle just kept running the ball. Sam Darnold only threw 26 times, but he was 20 for 26 when they played in Week 18. But Purdy, the second game, he was just getting killed. There's some hits where I was like, oh my God, is he going to get up? Like, he's getting like manhandled back there. But they'll have Trent Williams back, which will help because Trent Williams got hurt the first play of the game in the Seattle game in Week 18. That should help them, but the offensive line isn't great on San Francisco. The thing about both these quarterbacks that they're gonna turn over the ball, but they just respond so well. Purdy responds very well to turnovers. We'll see how Darnold responds. He led the league in turnovers as a quarterback. I think he had like 17 interceptions and like 4 fumbles. But yeah, I think that this is a good spot for Sam Darnold to prove people wrong. He's got to have a great game, though. I mean, if he doesn't have a good game, they'll lose. I think there'll still be a little bit of a monkey on his back. Yes, like some of it will be taken off because, he gets his first playoff win. But I think he's really going to perform well, especially, he's supposed to be the answer there for Seattle. But yeah, I mean, I got Seattle. I don't think they'll win by the seven. So I would have the 49ers in the points or Seattle money line. But yeah, I mean, this would be a good spot for Purdy too. Purdy's 5-1 in the playoffs. That's very, very good. And that one loss was in the Super Bowl to Mahomes when he did his job actually in that Super Bowl. They had the lead in the overtime and the defense just couldn't slow them down. The 49ers down, or the Chiefs down. But yeah, I got Seattle in this game. I just think they're too physical, too fast. They're too good on defense. Darnold's playing really well right now. I mean, but it's the playoffs. Maybe he'll shrink. Who knows? Maybe he won't even play. But I doubt that. I bet he'll play. But yeah. Then on to the next game is Houston Texans versus the New England Patriots. Baby, we're favored by 3. Not gonna lie to you, I'm extremely nervous for this game. Houston's defense is like one of the best I've ever seen. It has to do. It's as good as those old Ravens defenses. The old '85 Bears defense. The old Seattle defenses. They're that good. I mean, it feels like they have like 13, 14 guys on the field on defense. They just slow everything down for their offenses. If you don't have a quarterback that moves, they'll just get in there and kill you. And even if you have a quarterback that moves, they'll get in and kill you. Remember that Thursday night game with Josh Allen, where Josh Allen was just getting pulverated every 5 seconds. I mean, he got sacked like 9 times in that game. But Houston ended up winning that game with a backup quarterback, but Davis Mills. But Stroud has not been playing good recently, especially in the playoffs. Last week, he had almost 5 turnovers. He had 2 fumbles that were covered by the defense, but he had 4 in total, and plus the interception. So he had 5 turnover-worthy plays, but only had 3 turnovers really. But yeah, I mean, it's all about Shroud. Thing is he's really good in the short game, and every once in a while they'll hit this long ball, this long pass. But the Patriots defense should shut down the long pass. I mean, the short game is very vulnerable on the Patriots defense, and we'll see how the pass rush does against that okay offense line. They're not very that good. They're not that good. They got a rookie at left tackle. They got Trent Brown, who looks like he ate old Trent Brown on right tackle. He's just so fucking. I'm sorry, excuse my language. He used to play for the Patriots, and I can't stand him. I can't stand him at all. I mean, he just didn't even care. Doesn't even try. It looks like. I mean, he's kind of a loser. He used to be so good, then all of a sudden he just doesn't care anymore. But and their interior line is, I mean, Evan Ingram, I think is his name, is the guard. I mean, he's pretty good, and Josh Johnson's pretty good. Is that his name? Josh Johnson, Josh Jackson? I don't know. But their center's terrible. I mean, he's an old Patriots player that never hit the field. His name's Jake Andrews. He's a terrible snapper. He's not a good at snapping the ball. So maybe there'll be a turnover in there that the Patriots recover a fumble. But, Houston will have Nico Collins, but, we saw how good Christian Kirk played in the Steelers game. Christian Kirk's been a great player. I don't know why that he's been on different teams so much. He's a great player. He's a great weapon. Their two rookie receivers, Higgins and Noel, have been playing great. Both Iowa State guys. They got the tight end Schultz, and they got the other tight end Stover. I mean, he's pretty good. He's got a lot of good chemistry because he was at Ohio State same time Shroud was. But, it depends on if they can run the ball. The Steelers' defense is terrible. That's why they were able to run the ball so well. But, our run defense has been very, very good all year. Went downhill when Milton Williams was out, and we had Spillane out and Tonga out. But, all those guys are playing. Christian Gonzalez looks like he's going to play for the Patriots. So our defense and our whole roster, this is the healthiest we've been all year. Everybody's back. Everybody's healthy, which is great to see. And yeah, I think if Drake May can get in the 20s, we'll be able to win. The Patriots will be able to win this game. But the problem is he going to be able to get there? He didn't get there against the Chargers. He turned over the ball way too much against the Chargers. This is the best defense we played all year. Best team probably we played all year. Excuse me. Other than the Bills. But, yeah, Drake May's got to be able to move the ball. And I guess Houston's defense does have a vulnerability of scrambling quarterbacks. And Drake May, one of the best scramblers in the league, if not the best scrambler in the league. And, yeah, this is a big moment for Drake. Huge moment, because he didn't play that well in the first half of the Steelers game, Chargers game. He played a little bit better in the second half. He made some great throws in the second half. But, if he wins this game, this might be Drake May's moment as well as Josh Allen's. I know he's in his second year, and Josh Allen's better than him, so I'd take obviously Josh Allen better than if they went head to head. I would still pick the Bills to win, but I would get. I mean, I do have confidence in May, but not full confidence yet, just because he's so young. He makes some mistakes still sometimes, but he bounces back from those mistakes so fast. He learns so fast. One game you'll see something bad, the next game he cleans up whatever bad was bad, and then so on and so on. That's why he's been progressing so well and so good this year. But I think it's his time to shine. You're going against the best defense in the league, one of the best defenses in the last decade, last long time. One of the best defenses of all time, probably. So yeah, but the thing is, the Patriots Texans are so good in the short game. They're a little vulnerable to the long passes, actually, which is kind of crazy for a really good defense. But so maybe and Drake May is the best deep ball in the league. So maybe they can pick him apart there a little bit. I mean, those balls don't ever work 90% of the time. He'll probably get 2, 3, 4 of them. And the thing is I would run at them too, Will Anderson is great against the run, and they're probably really good against the run, but, running at them kind of wears them down a little bit, can open up some stuff in the intermediate to long game. But the short game, the problem with the short game is that they hit so hard, they're so physical, as in Houston, they hit so hard, they're so physical, that when you throw it short, there's 3, 4, 5 guys on the ball instantly. You're not going to be able to do anything short in the 5 to 10 yard range, unless Drake May sees something. They're going to play straight. They're going to play straight man coverage. Houston just plays straight man coverage. They don't. Going to the game, you're going to know what Houston does, but they're just so good that that they can execute it. And Drake Mays, he's okay against man coverage. He's way better against zone. He's elite against zone. He just slices and dices against zone. But this is a big test for him. This is the biggest test we had all season. It's the playoffs. Dome teams coming to an outside team. Yeah, Houston's built to play outside, but at the end of the day, dome teams are like 1-15 going outside, or no, 2-15 going outside, and it might snow. Please, I'm Mother Nature. Please just kill them with the worst weather ever. I mean, I wish we had the weather that the Bears are gonna play in New England, but yeah, I think that Houston will probably win the game. But if the Patriots get in the 20s, they're gonna win. Watch out. If they get there, they'll win. But I know that's little. I'm saying one thing but saying another thing. I'm talking about both sides of my mouth right now. It's just very hard to pick this game because it's the best offense going against the best defense. An okay offense going against Patriots have a good defense. They're not great, but they're good. They're top 10. And if they get pressure, Stroud against pressure versus blitzing, it sounds like the same thing, but blitzing sending everybody, and pressure is just offensive line getting in there, defensive line getting in there. He's not good against pressure versus the blitz. So hopefully we get some pressure in there. We don't blitz that much. They probably won't have Nico Collins, which really helps us, and we'll have Gonzalez. We thought maybe we weren't going to have Gonzalez, and they weren't going to have Collins, but Gonzalez will be there. I think that, like I said, the Patriots score in the 20s. They're gonna win this game, and this is a huge moment for Drake. I was texting one of my buddies yesterday, like if they win this game, I have full confidence Drake. Drake May, and he's obviously the guy right now, but you can really solidify him in the future for being a top 5 to 3 guy in the league. But yeah, and the thing about Houston's defensive line is that they never blitz ever. They just put 4 in the box and they just get in there because they're so good. They're so fast with Hunter and Delaney Walker and Daniil Walker and Sheldon Rankins up in there, and they got Autry in there, and they got Tim Settle, which is really good. They got Edwards, which I think he's actually out, Edwards. But Mario Edwards Jr. is a really good player. But yeah, and then the Patriots offensive line's terrible, so I'm really nervous about Drake getting hit a lot, like Josh Allen did. And but Drake's really good against a blitz, but the thing is they won't blitz that much. So pressure sometimes he can fumble a little bit. He tries to make a hero play instead of just holding the ball and getting down, which I don't like. But this is a tough game to pick. But I think I got Houston unless the Patriots can score the 20s. I know that's a little wishy-washy, but that's my prediction. But yeah, on to the next game is the Rams versus Bears. The Rams are favored by 3.5, and I got the Bears. They got a lot of magic right now. I don't think they'll go to the Super Bowl, but they just got too much magic right now. Caleb Williams is playing great in the second half of games. Ben Johnson, first playoff game he didn't coach too well, but he's getting there. He got better in the second half. Their defense is terrible though, but same as the Rams' defense is terrible. You know what? I'm actually gonna. I don't know. The weather will be terrible too. LA warm weather teams and dome teams going to cold weather is really bad. Stafford said, I played in cold weather a lot, being in Detroit and stuff like that, which Detroit's in a dome. I don't know why he said that. But I just think the cold weather team wins this game, as in the Bears. Yes, the Bears defense is not very good, but they found a way to slow down Jordan Love in the second half. Stafford's way better than Jordan Love, but the Rams just have so many weapons on offense, and if Jared Verse and Turner and I can't say his name, the defensive lineman from Florida State, if they can get some pressure on Caleb Williams and get in there and blitz, because the Bears will be out without their starting left tackle, so Jared Verse might have a really good game, but other than that, their offensive line's pretty good, but the thing about the Bears, they're going to be able to run the ball and slow down the game with I almost said Jordan Howard, but he hasn't played for the Bears in so long. With DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, and they have so many weapons. They got way too much in his offense. You look at the Rams' offense with Nakua is probably the best receiver in the league, and Devontae Adams and the tight ends, and they got Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. So they kind of match up very well on paper. Both bad defenses, both stacked offenses, but something just seems off of the Rams like this year, towards the end of the year, and I don't know what it is. Like the special teams are terrible, so they're very vulnerable there. Um, just something's off with them. Like it's hard to put my finger around it. And I've heard a lot of other people in the media talk about this, like Colin Cowherd and John Meadowcloth. There's just something off with them, and I agree with them. I don't know what it is. I can't get my finger on it, but I think that the Bears do win this game. The Rams, I think it's just Stafford's finger is supposed to be hurt, and from the Panthers game, and he didn't play good after he got hurt. But he did lead him down on that drive at the end of the game to have him win. But yeah, I think I got the Bears. And also Devontae Adams' hamstring is still hurt. And he got like a weird it looks like he got concussed the last game, but he shook it off and kept playing. In the cold weather, the finger of Stafford or the hamstring of Devontae Adams could act up a little bit. You give him a hard time, but yeah, I got the Bears. I think Caleb Williams is just playing really good ball right now. I still don't totally trust him, but he's playing really good ball right now. He's doing good, and I'm excited to see. It's good for football when the Bears are good, even though I don't love all the Bears talk all the time. It just seems a little too much and way over the top. But, yeah, it's just their time. So I got, overall in the weekend, I got the Bills, Seahawks, Texans if they keep Patriots under 20, and the Bears. And, yeah. And there's a couple of talking points I want to talk about. Sorry, I'm just writing a little note down here. Yeah, so the Giants did hire. Excuse me, I'm just trying to write down this. Something happened in MLB baseball that's crazy. But yeah, I'm sorry. John Harbaugh got hired by the Giants. I think it's a great hire for him. I was talking earlier in an earlier episode where he had all these rumors to go to Miami. I do think John Harbaugh's a little overrated as a coach. He almost got fired before, but Lamar Jackson saved his job. But he'll just bring in like that. He gives me like a knockoff Vrabel. He'll bring in that culture. He'll bring in the good vibes. He knows what winning looks like. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They got the quarterback. They got the GM. I don't think he'll stay. It looks like Harbaugh will bring in his own guys, but yeah. The owner there. As soon as you saw John Harbaugh want to interview them in person, I mean, he did all these interviews over the phone. And then he only did the Giants in person, which kind of told you he was only really seriously interested in the Giants. The owner's brother, the owner they have now is battling cancer, so he's having some health problems. But the brother was really involved and stuff like that. He visited John Harbaugh at his house, and yeah, I think it's a great hire for them. They had the quarterback. John Harbaugh shouldn't have gone to Miami and all these other teams. Maybe the Raiders because he can pick his quarterback with Mendoza. But the Raiders are just such a bad franchise. And, the Giants really aren't a bad franchise. Yes, the last couple of years they haven't been good, but, right now they have the left tackle, they have the receivers, they have the running back, they have the quarterback, they have a lot of weapons on defense, and Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Paulson Adebo, what's his name, Paulson Adebo, and Holland, the safety, which is good. But, yeah, that was a great hire for them, the Giants. I'm excited to see them play. It's good for... I like Jackson Dart, but, he just got to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, he's a franchise quarterback, but, he's just got to stay out of the blue tent. But, yeah, I mean, great hire by the Giants. And I'm excited to see what happens from them. And then the next story I want to talk about was... apparently, toolbag Aaron Rodgers was crying and sobbing over Mike Tomlin being... fired, and he was like, I'm so sorry. Reportedly, reports come out like that. I just want to say, why are you crying like that, dude? You're part of the reason why you got fired. You sucked. You were terrible. You weren't good. But Yeah, Tomlin will get hired in a heartbeat when he wants to coach again. I think that it was a good for the Steelers and Tomlin to Tomlin stepping down. I think he got fired, really, to be honest with you. Conspiracy. But the Steelers just got to bottom out and draft a quarterback. They're not going to be able to unless they trade a bunch of picks for a quarterback, which probably never happens and won't happen. But yeah, I mean, I think it's time for the Steelers to bottom out. I think it's time for them to go back in the draft. I mean, I think they have 8 or 9 players on their defense that are over 30. They don't have a lot of young players. Metcalf probably won't be in the team next year. They have outs in his contract, and he wasn't worth that second round pick. He's just not good enough. But who else do they have? So maybe they will keep him. But they have good tight ends. They need to solidify their offensive line. Their offensive line's terrible. They need to get younger. That's the problem. They need to get younger. So whoever the next coach is, I think that they should say, hey, we're going to take it. We're not going to tank, but we're going to sell some pieces off, get some picks. Yeah, I think that they need to go to the bottom of the draft, the top of the draft. Sorry, top of the draft, and get a quarterback. But they can't do it this year. Next year's the year. Maybe they get Dante Moore or something like that, or someone else who falls. Supposedly next year is supposed to be a good quarterback draft, but they said that at the beginning of the year for this year. So you never know. You see what happens. Yeah, I think Rodgers crying and sobbing over Tomlin. Like, come on, man, get a grip. Get a grip. And another football story I saw is all these Chiefs fans and Chiefs people talking about Mahomes. Mahomes will be out a lot next year and stuff like that. And when I saw that, I was like, no, he's not. I bet Mahomes plays week 1, and then you saw the report yesterday. Mahomes eyeing week 1 return. Stephon Diggs tore his ACL in the middle of the year last year. He came back in week 1. He was there for training camp. He was there for everything. Maybe they take a precautionary year, but this was their bad year, down year. I think it'll be interesting. It's good for the league if Mahomes plays, even though I hate him and I hate the Chiefs. But it's good for Mahomes in the league if he plays. And now with modern medicine and stuff like that, players come back from these injuries so fast and so quickly. So yeah, I think that he'll definitely be back for week 1, and that's a good opportunity for the Chiefs to come back. I mean, he had a terrible year last year, and it does. I do. So my top quarterbacks was Brady, Mahomes, Montana. Brady never missed the playoffs, and when he missed the playoffs, he was hurt, and he might have missed it in his second year when he wasn't a full starter yet. But so Brady's easy number 1. No one will ever top him. Mahomes could have, but I don't think it will happen. Montana, I think, goes above Mahomes now because Mahomes' last 2 years, they went 15-2 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl last year and got killed by the Eagles. But he didn't play good, and then this last year he played even worse. He really didn't have a good year at all. He didn't play good at all. So, and then he had the ACL, which obviously he's out for the rest of the year. But it'll be interesting to see how he plays when he gets back. Is he fully healthy? Does he push it too much to get back too fast? Andy Reid will probably retire soon. He's fat and out of shape, and he's getting old. Still one of the best coaches in the league. But yeah, I think it's not really surprising that he's going to come back for week 1. And then you saw in basketball. I don't really talk much NBA. I don't like NBA that much, but I just got to talk about this. Jonathan Kuminga is a wing on the Golden State Warriors. He was a free agent this year. He didn't like Golden State, didn't want to go back. He was a restricted free agent. He signed a contract, then the Warriors matched it, so he had to come back. And then he's playing this year, and then he just requested a trade yesterday. I think the NBA is a joke because of this. Everybody can just request a trade and get out of any situation they want. 1, he's not even that good. 2, he's getting paid a lot of money already when he's not that good. And 3, Steve Kerr even said that, I don't think him and Steve Kerr like each other. They're not on the same page. But yeah, I think that's the problem with the NBA. All these players think they're so good that they request a trade and get out. And then, the media is freaking out. Jonathan Kuminga requests a trade, blah, 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 blah. Guys, he's not that good of a player. 1, are you guys talking about it that much because he plays the Golden State Warriors who are not good anymore? Or 2, are you talking about it because, him and Steve Kerr have beef? It's probably 1, that, it's the Warriors. and or three, that the NBA media is just a joke. It really is a joke. It's always happy, horse crap. Um, but yeah, and then you saw in baseball, Kyle Tucker signed a 4-year, $240 million contract yesterday. After the second and third year, there's opt outs, and he's getting paid $60 million a year, and he signed with the Dodgers. When I saw this, I got so frustrated because I'm sick of the Dodgers signing everybody, their team being stacked. They got to bring a floor of the salary cap. I don't want a salary cap but I want a floor where every team has to spend a certain amount of money, because you got lower market teams that don't spend any money and don't do anything, and then everybody goes to the big market teams, except the Red Sox, because we're a big market team. We just don't spend any money, and we're like nickel and diming everybody. It's a joke. It's embarrassing. But if you have a salary floor, all the other teams will kind of equal out a little bit. The Pirates will spend money, Athletics will spend money, Tigers will spend money. All these small market teams will spend more money, so that they get probably more good players and stuff like that. So everything kind of equals out a little bit. The problem with a cap is that teams won't even spend the salary cap anyways. Nothing will change with the small market teams. You have to have a floor that teams have to spend a certain amount of money. Like, look at the Dodgers. Today they just signed Bo Bichette for 3 years, $126 million. Red Sox should have done that. But yeah, and then you see the Red Sox also signed Ranger Suarez to a 5-year, $130 million contract. What's frustrating as a Red Sox fan is that they did this move because they didn't sign Bregman. So they're trying to save face, trying to get the fan base back on, and tickets were up for sale the day after. Season tickets were up for sale the day after. They signed Ranger Suarez, which they did solidify their roster, their pitching, but why can't you sign both? You have enough money to sign Bregman and Suarez. Do both. I don't know why you're trying to save money. I don't know what you're trying to do. John Henry is not interested in winning anymore. He's too interested in Liverpool and all these different things for his portfolio he's interested in. It's so frustrating as a Red Sox fan, and it's really a baseball problem too, because the Yankees are doing the same thing. They're not spending any money. They're not doing anything. They don't want anybody. And it's the Yankees and it's the Red Sox we're talking about. The two biggest, if not the biggest teams in baseball. Well, the Dodgers are now, but they're 2 and 3 now. But it's time for big markets to go back how it was. And I think that floor will help them a lot, because it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The Red Sox shouldn't. That's the biggest contract that Bregman, the GM of the Red Sox, has signed to. But you're the Red Sox, $130 million. That's like pocket money. That's nothing. But just wanted to rant about that a little bit. But I have a little shorter episode this week. I think I got everything out of the way that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great weekend and enjoys football this weekend. And yeah, take care. We'll see you after the playoffs.